Hey there, gorgeous souls, and welcome to today's message and conversation. I'm excited to share this one from my kind of working with planning a wedding in less than 2 months at the moment. And so I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about some of the major challenges that have been coming through in my life based on kind of being presented with something like a wedding and a really significant day that involves others, and you know, all the bits and pieces. For those of you who've planned a wedding before, you know what I'm talking about. I've never done it and I've heard all the stories, and now I kind of get a little bit of it, but it's been so empowering in a kind of way that I wasn't fully expecting. And that's what I kind of want to talk to you guys about today, because it's been really key in terms of getting to a new level of my own integrity and dealing with my own kind of people-pleasing tendencies. And it's kind of been kind of challenging. And I have actually been avoiding a few of the different elements, particularly around inviting people for a while, to the point where it was literally only yesterday that I actually finalized the invitations going out. And, you know, like, just to give you guys a little bit of a background and a quick hi to Ravy. Thanks for being here, my friend. Tune in, drop some comments, say hi wherever you are from in the world. I'd love to know where, and definitely share your experiences with today's topic, all on people-pleasing, integrity. Kind of, I'll tap into some fun things with you. But just to give you a quick backstory here, my fiance Tim and I, we actually spent a month in India, and about maybe a month or 6 weeks ago we got back. But whilst we were in India, you know, this year had kind of been, we'd planned to get married. We were going to get married at the end of April, and I don't know, just, you know, I kind of like that part in me that was like, oh, it's not such a big deal. Why do we need to do that now? I'd actually rather go traveling. Like, I'd actually rather spend the thousands of dollars that people spend on their weddings, you know, for like a few hours of your time. I'd rather go on an adventure, right? And so that's kind of was my mentality at the time. And so I went and, you know, we went and did that and went on this big adventure. And then I had another whole adventure. I was supposed to be I'd be in Bali right now, actually. I was going to be there for another month. A couple of days ago, I should have been there. But some revelations that we had whilst we were in India, you know, for those of you guys who have been to India before, like, it will put your life in perspective, right? Like, it is the world's largest population, right? It is, when you experience what it is to live with so many people, you know, in a country that, you know, is the same size as Australia, with just like so many more people, right? Like, it's just crazy, where you're just bumper to bumper with other human beings constantly. The different kind of challenges that come with that, the things that we take for granted. I know for myself here in Australia, you know, just the freedom, the space, the privacy at times, you know, like just the fresh, beautiful air, the cleanliness, like all of those different things that, you know, kind of stripped away from you when you enter the arena that is India. And the first week of our trip, we actually spent visiting with and immersing ourselves in a 7-day course with an Indian guru that I've been following on YouTube over the last couple of years. Her name is Maharishika Preeti. You can look her up. I'll give you the spelling. If you drop me a comment, let me know that's interesting to you. I'll link you to her stuff. But she just really has resonated with me on this next leg of my journey over the last couple of years, with some deeper kind of more spiritual things that were occurring in my life and my awareness, and I didn't have the context or the frameworks for. So she's been really helpful in my life to just kind of ground me back into reality and not go too far off in this woo-woo craziness of, you know, like just this whole other realm, right, of this. I won't go into the details of all of that right now, but I've been called to go to India for the last couple of years, finally made that happen. And whilst we were visiting with this guru, she really spoke some truths that I just simply couldn't argue with about, you know, this next leg of my growth, this next part of my journey. And I'm all about, you know, generating your decisions and your choices from the inside out. But I do believe that it's really valuable to have outside influences that you can trust and that you've developed some depth with, to give you something to at least push against with your own sense of authenticity. Not to have them decide for you, which is how I spent the first majority of my life, right? Having other people decide for me what the best pathway was for me in my life, and that not turning out so brilliantly in terms of fulfillment and connection and all the beautiful things that you want when you're free to be all of who you are. But from what she shared with me, it gave me this something to push up against with my own authenticity. And it freed me into realizing that this next part of my journey is to, you know, go into this marriage that I've chosen to be in with my amazing fiance, and all our crazy journey and the roller coaster of life that we've had together. We just celebrated our 12th meeting anniversary, 12th year meeting anniversary, but we were actually together for 4.5 years. We were outside of each other's lives. We broke up for 4.5 years. And then we came back together as friends, wanting to celebrate each other. And then life unfolded from that place. And that was, you know, nearly 3 years ago now, I guess. And we're ready to, you know, jump into this next stage of life and what that will bring for us. And so I needed that kind of wake-up call. And again, India will do some wake-up calls for you, right? Like to put life in perspective, make you incredibly grateful for the life that you get to live. And also just the, you know, for me, just like the gratitude that I get this space in my life to get attuned to who it is that I am, what it is that I want, and have the courage, generate the courage and the confidence to really go after that and become the person that I'm really proud to be moment to moment. All right. And so that's what has brought me to today's topic with you guys. So planning this wedding, and I think I just saw Farine join, and I think I've just seen you recently get married, so you might have some really good ideas and concepts in this. But basically, what has come up for me is joining into this partnership with my fiance to go, all right, who are the people that we really want there? And we've been kind of, you know, asking different people who've been married and gone through this whole process, you know, what was their experience? What advice do they have for us? And the common theme was, this is your day. And they said it with such like passion, just like, remember, they were almost like shaking us, like, remember, this is your day. It's not for anyone else. Do what you want, right? And we heard so many stories of people like doing what everybody else wanted, inviting everybody and all these people that they might not have really even been in connection with. And I don't know about you, but I've even been to plenty of weddings myself where I didn't know the couple and I've never seen them again. You know, and I don't really want that. And even our engagement party that we had last year, to me, it had too many people. You know, it was just like running around having 2-minute kind of shallow conversations with everybody. And I felt like that was kind of a bit of a test run for what kind of wedding we really want. And what's the significance of the wedding? You know, what's turned me off so many times in my past has been actually just, I felt like it was just this big kind of party for the eyes of others and not actually what I perceive it's meant to be for me, you know, this like really significant commitment, like this commitment to love, this commitment to, you know, sharing life's journey with another, right? And doing it really consciously as a really fertile place to becoming the people that you're really proud to be, and however that manifests for you as individuals, right? But it's a really significant commitment. It's not just a party to me, right? And I saw so many people, and friends included, like I'd go to their weddings and I knew what was really going on behind the scenes, but they put on this like big show, and it just kind of turned me off. You know, it kind of made me lose faith in the concept of marriage and like having a wedding just like to like be the center of attention and, you know, put on this big show when the reality behind the scenes isn't quite matching. Just turned me off, right? And so I had to come to a place of, what do I want that to be? And with my partner, what do we want this to be? This is something that we want to bring our closest people, those that we really know we have a future with, that celebrate us, that we celebrate them. We want to bring us all together, and the smaller the better in a way, right? Like not to have quantity, but to have quality, right? And so having that in mind, what's made it kind of a long journey is that we had this big list, because if you invite this person, then you've got to invite this person, and our people pleasing kind of just came into play, and then it just put the brakes on. Like, oh my gosh, like I don't want to deal with the conflict there if we weren't to do that and this and that. And we had this huge list, which was double the numbers that we can actually have in the venue that we're really wanting, right? And that's why we've been, you know, I want to talk to this concept of, if you struggle with people pleasing, right? You don't want to offend that person. Oh, you couldn't do that. What would they say? Or, you know, all of the, oh, I don't want to deal with the conflict. I don't want to deal with the problem there, whatever it is. And so you sacrifice your integrity. You sacrifice what's actually really true for you, right? And then you just go into something and you create things that you don't actually want, right? And so that's what I was feeling, right? I was feeling like, oh my gosh, like, I just feel like I'm just kind of this fake kind of energy, and I don't want that, right? I don't want to pretend that we're closer than we are. I don't want to like just harmonize, which has been, you know, my past self as a survival strategy, basically, to just harmonize with the environment and sacrifice what's really true and what really needs some speaking to, right? And so we had this funny experience where we were going on a bit of a road trip, and I just said, let's just bring our ruthless bitches out, right? What would we do if I often use this, you know, the movie Groundhog Day, where, you know, the day's repeating and he gets to repeat it every day. I've oftentimes like just fantasized about what it would be if you were just completely honest, completely truthful, and it feels really ruthless, right? But you just spoke your complete honest truth to people. And then it doesn't matter, because you get to redo the day the next day, and everybody's forgotten, right? Memories wipes clean like Men in Black or something, right? And so I've often played with that fantasy, but my partner and I, we just sat there in the car and we were just like, yeah, no, you know what? Not invited. I don't care if you're family. You're not on the list. We don't have a great connection. You're not here to celebrate us. You're actually very judgmental. Don't want you there, right? And we just like let that ruthlessness within us like just take the forefront. We didn't have to do anything about it, right? We just let it come to the forefront. And this is a really great practice for any of us who can struggle with people pleasing, right? At the sacrifice of your own self. And you know, you're so out of balance, you're so on one side of the equation that you actually need to practice its mirror opposite in order to let the pendulum swing and come back into center, right? Because when you can recognize when you're out of balance and you're playing a one-sided fear, you can identify what's its mirror opposite, which is also coming from a bit of fear and not necessarily the person that you want to be. But practicing that will help draw you into middle ground, draw you into balance. And that's when integrity can start to produce solutions for you. Now, what has that done for me? It made me have to deal with some uncomfortable truths, right? Particularly with, one of my family members. We just, I've gotten to a place with this particular family member where, it wasn't the relationship that I wanted. I used to really people please, harmonize, sacrifice my truth and self to stay in harmony with this person. And then it just got like too much. I wasn't free to be myself with them. I felt judged. I had my own persecutions and judgments on them. And I had taken the time to actually just release this relationship. I actually it took me some time, but I got to a place of peacefulness with just, it is what it is. I don't need them to change. They are who they are. I am who I am. We don't need it to be different. And I'm at peace with that, right? I don't need them to change. I don't need the relationship to change. I've actually come to a place of just release with that. Just calmness, just release. It's not avoidant and it's not attached, right? And so that took me a while, but then when presented with something that, you know, like a wedding, right, where you're expected to, yeah, of course you invite all your family and it's a big thing, right? It put me in this position of like, okay, my past pattern has been to people please and to sacrifice what's true for me, pretend all the unspoken stuff doesn't exist, and just show up and just be friendly and nice and just make the invitation and, you know, pretend. Doesn't work for me anymore. All right. So what was the opposite? This other part of me, just the ruthless part, wanted to just go, you know what? I'm not inviting you. You're not invited, right? And I let that part just, you know, go into full expression of what it wanted to say. Like, it's just, we're not the right people for each other. I'm not ever going to be the person you want me to be. And that's okay. All right. I don't need you to be, you know, change who you are, but this is who this is what I need in this relationship. And you're not that, right? And so just because it's a wedding and you're expected to bring people who are blood related to you into it, maybe that's just not what's going to happen here, right? And I practiced and practiced over that side. I let that side have its full expression in the safety and containment of my own environment, right? I'm not here to hurt anybody. I'm not here to project that onto anybody. I'm dealing with that. I'm allowing for that part to have its voice, right? And what happened by oscillating, going, okay, trying on the people-pleasing way, trying on the ruthless kind of bitch kind of way, what it allowed me to do is come into a centered self and determine who is it that I'm proud to be, that is taking a stand for what I really need to communicate, right? I don't believe in just ghosting people. I don't believe in, you know, abandoning people without communication. I think that's kind of abusive, right? And I don't believe in just projecting all your crap onto somebody either, right? And all these expectations, right? And expecting them to be different to who they are. What I do believe in, though, is coming into clarity about what you need to express in order to align with the person that you're most proud to be, and have the courage and the confidence to express that without trying to change, without expecting anything from the other person, just in the pureness of you having the integrity and the courage to express that integrity to that other person with real clarity, real honesty, real transparency, and real love, right? And it's your journey to go into that place of getting yourself into love, getting yourself into, you know, this high involvement in what matters to you, but low attachment to the outcome or how anybody else is supposed to show up. And by doing that and having the courage to express from that place, then, you know, and I wrote an email from this place, right? And it felt so aligned. It felt so loving. It felt really courageous, and it felt really truthful. And it gave this person complete way out. They didn't need to change. I would completely honor, you know, whether or not they could come to the table with me on this or not, right? And however it unfolds, right? But I've played my part. I've played the part of aligning with the person that I'm most proud to be, not doing anything from fear. I even had to like proofread my email and catch the little parts of my people-pleasing softeners that came out and bring it back into integrity, right? Because when you align with your own sense of self and integrity in the pureness of love, without trying to attack or change anybody else, right? Really being able to be compassionate, understanding, no expectations, but just having the courage to express the reality and truth. It actually no longer matters how anybody else responds to you, what they think of you, any of that, because you're not dependent on them, because you're already being the person that you know yourself to be. You're already aligning with the person that you're proud to be. And so anybody who has some different judgment, when you have that inner knowing, you can actually just see it for their stuff, right? It's only when you're trying to people please and mold yourself out of integrity to be what you think others will approve of, that then you are totally messed up by how other people respond to you. And so my invitation to you guys, and my reason for sharing this, is just to ask you, if you do struggle with, people pleasing in your life in whatever capacity, give yourself permission to practice being a ruthless bitch in behind the scenes, in your own containment. Allow that part to shine through and see what integrity can come through with a beautiful balanced solution for the pathway forward, where you can be the person that you're proud to be and not succumb to the fearful people pleaser or succumb to that ruthless kind of bitch kind of way of being either. All right, so that's my invitation. I'd love to hear from you guys about your experiences with coming into integrity in difficult conversations, difficult relationships. Maybe you've had an experience with your wedding where you were out of integrity and you came into integrity, or you can reflect back and wish you had have done something different to be really aligned, or whatever lesson you've learned from those experiences. But I'd definitely love to hear from you guys, and I definitely want to check in and see who's been able to join. So please do say hi. Let me know where in the world you're tuning in from. If you have any questions, comments, words of wisdom on this topic, I love you guys joining into these conversations. So definitely join in if you feel called to. But Ravi's here, and Michael and Sarah, good evening from England. Oh, I love that. Love knowing where you guys are from. And Paul's here, and Javier, and Farine, and Dean, and Phil's here, awesome, and Magda, and Angel, cool. And Ravi, thank you so much for your kind words there, Rabi. Appreciate you being here, my friend. And Peter's here as well, and Juan, and Steve, and Angela, and Linda. I've just blocked a bully, unfortunately, in the family. I've tried everything. Can I just walk away? I've tried. Love it. Love it. And I've had this experience myself where must have been a couple of years ago now. It was during COVID, and I got in this weird argument with my sister-in-law's mother, and it was just so judgmental and attacky, and it was just not what I want in my life, that I just decided to go on this purification of who's invited into these private messages. I know I do all this publicly, but we can also block people from what they consume in terms of our sharing in our lives. And look, at the end of the day, I think that we can do all that we can, like you're saying, Linda, that you've tried everything and now you've reached a point where it's just obviously not healthy for your system, right? And and you can walk away from that. But what I will say, for you to be able to be at peace, right? How you're walking away from the right place is that you're genuinely just at peace with it. You're not expecting them to change or be any different. You're knowing and listening to what it is that you need, who it is that you are, and you're aligning with the person that you know yourself to be, and you can be proud of that. It's a journey of release from that place. But I do believe, depending on the relationship, I do believe that you need to do some release work, whether that is in communication to them, but oftentimes, and it sounds like this might be the case for you, Linda, they've proven themselves maybe not to be a safe place for you to share and express who you really are and what your concerns are. And so you need to meet that need within yourself. So a great strategy for that, to get yourself into a place of peaceful release and clarity over your own integrity about anything you may feel that you need to communicate or not, or what those next steps are, so that you can make sure that you're in complete alignment with the person that you're proud to be, is to write a release letter. Now, this is a technique that if you've ever been a client of mine, you've done several, all right? And so basically I could send you a copy of a template that will allow for you to go through this, but it's really simple. And basically what you do, it's like a journaling process. And basically you empty onto the page a letter written to this person where you fully unleash everything that you're angry about, everything that, you know, and I'm talking about like you empty the tank. And you hand write this, because when you hand write it, you engage the emotional aspect of the brain so that you can fully get to the depths of your subconscious, or at least some layer of your subconscious, and really feel and emote what's on the page to allow you to clarify and kind of get to the bottom of the tank with all of these emotions. But it's been scientifically proven that if you start with anger and you go through a series of emotions that are in a sequence, you'll completely and you completely allow that to empty out, you'll genuinely get to a place of love and gratitude and solution. All right. And so basically it's like you go and empty out with all your anger toward this person, everything you're sad of, right? I'm angry about this, dear whoever, I'm angry about this, blah, blah, blah. And you keep going and going and going until there's no more things that you can come up with anger. Right? And then you move on to sadness. I'm really sad about this. I'm sad about this. I'm sad about this, blah, 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 blah. You keep moving through, right? You get through regret, you get through fear, you get through regret. And eventually, if you're really doing the practice solidly and really emptying this out, you do get to that place of gratitude, of love, of acceptance. And you end it with signing off with a PS about what you really need from this situation. All right. And my tip for you on this, in order to release what your attachments, right, from anybody else fulfilling you, is that you meet this need for yourself, whatever it is. I need to be heard on this. I need to be understood. So you go and hear yourself. You understand yourself. Anyway, we can go into the depths of that, but if that's something that interests you, just let me know. And also, I'll just say, you know, the Free to Be Me with V sessions that I'm running for free every Monday on Zoom. We're a global community. Everybody's welcome. That is a place where you can bring challenges, exactly like you're sharing now, Linda, right? You can bring challenges into that group. It's a really safe container with all of us who are sharing openly and vulnerably and courageously about life's challenges. And we're moving in the direction of finding our solutions. We're taking responsibility for them. We're courageously growing into the people that we're proud to be. You know, you can bring those challenges if you need some support, if you need some encouragement, if you just need to be held in that space. If you need some new ways of looking at things, you can bring that into these empowerment calls. And that's what I wanted to kind of bring them, because I get to connect with so many of you beautiful souls. And I know you've been here for so many of these messages over the years. And I'd love to support you on a little deeper level and meet you personally with that. So if you are called to do that, come and join us in one of our upcoming Free to Be Me with V sessions, our empowerment calls on Zoom every Monday Aussie time, or it might be a Sunday evening your time, wherever you are in the world. But I'll drop the link so that you can register for that as well. All right. So let me thank you so much for sharing that, Linda. So appreciate you coming and bringing your reality to the conversation today. So appreciated. And Hervé's here, and Juan from Mexico. Always great to have you here, my friend. And you're so welcome, Linda. And awesome. Hope to see you in one of our upcoming sessions. And Phil, consider eloping. I certainly did. Honestly, I considered it a lot. It was probably more my fiance who was more about like having our families come together. And I really believe in that too. But you know, it's just, gosh, we've had to be ruthless in so many ways and get uncomfortable, you know, and it's been so purifying. So eloping sounds fun and relieving, and I don't know if it'd give me the fertile ground that having a wedding is giving me to actually purify and speak up the unspokens, to come into a deeper sense of alignment with the person that I'm proud to be and do the challenging and courageous things. And it ain't easy, but it's also very freeing. So I love that, Phil. And thank you, Ravi, for being here. So much love coming to each and every one of you guys. Thanks so much for showing up. Thanks for joining in this conversation. I really hope what I'm sharing today hits you in the heart in some capacity and adds some value to your life. And yeah, I love hearing from you guys. So always drop me some comments and reach out anytime. And I hope to see you in one of our upcoming Free to Be Me with V sessions coming up once a week, every week, all free. Everyone's welcome. It's a place to build our community and our connection with inspiring people who are taking responsibility, being the people that we're proud to be. All right. And love it, Phil. Yeah, a bit of a fair call there. And my reminder to each and every one of you guys is to go out there and live fully, to love deeply, and absolutely be the person that you're proud to be, right? Check in with what would the person that I'm proud to be do in this moment? What would the person that I'm proud to be, you know, what would they be doing with their life? What choice would they make in this situation? All right, just keep aligning with that. Keep aligning with that, and guess what? You get to live a life that ends up being the most fulfilling that you could ever possibly hope to live, a life true to yourself, right? So you're in the driver's seat for freeing yourself to be who you are, getting clear on who you're proud to be, and just aligning with that, right? That's a fulfilling existence with no regrets. So thank you so much for showing up. And Ravi, you're so welcome. Hope to see you again on here sometime soon. And I'll